Hello wonderful people, I hope that everybody is doing well. Welcome back to a new video. My name is Evelyn Barta and today I will be talking about the solar eclipse that is happening now at the end of the month, so April the 20th, that will influence the collective and it will influence us as well individually. So the energies are very heightened at this time, and it's important for us to know about eclipse season that it is a great time to letting things go, to start a new chapter and to tap into new energies really that will propel us to a deeper level of consciousness, to a deeper level of awareness, so to speak. So eclipses are always happening when three celestial bodies are in the same direction. And the word eclipse itself is being associated with the absence of light and normally with something quite negative, because it is really a challenging time when we are having the opportunity to integrate the darkness within us. So there's the absence of light because the sun, moon, and the earth are in the same direction, are in the same position, and they are kind of on the same plane, so overlapping. And for example, in Greek, eclipse means abandonment, like being abandoned in those moments when we have the opportunity to find ourselves. And when three celestial bodies are on the same plane, when the sun, moon, and earth are on the same plane and same direction, the sun is representing our vitality, our will to live, and the moon is representing our emotions, and then these two things are being grounded by the earth, by the energies of the earth. So eclipses are always those energetic portals, in a sense, where we can have the biggest leaps of faith, when we can be propelled to the next level of our consciousness, of our spiritual growth and personal growth as well. So eclipses are always opportunities for letting things go and to pay attention to certain areas of our lives where there was darkness. So those areas that have been in darkness for a while. And usually a year we have 4 eclipses. So we will have one now, a solar eclipse at the end of April, and then one at the beginning of May, which will happen in Scorpio, and then we will have 2 more of them this autumn, so in October and November. But sometimes there are 6 of them. So solar eclipses are new moons, which are new beginnings, and they are great to bring forth new energies. And they can propel us to the next level of our existence, or the next level of our consciousness and spiritual growth, and then personal growth as well. So they are great opportunities to set intentions, and this is what Aries will be helping us, because Aries is being ruled by Mars. And the solar eclipse in Aries means paying attention to our identity, how we are relating to other people in this physical world, to our physical appearance, to what we are, to how we appear to the external world. So Aries is ruling the 1st house and Pisces is ruling the 12th house. And for example, Pisces is more about the subconscious and how we relate to other people and to our environment and the whole universe on a subconscious level, or on a spiritual level, on a soul level. But Aries is more about how we relate to the world in this physical reality. What is our physical appearance telling about us to the external world? So it's more about the material world, but it is also about the willpower to make things happen, or the willpower to make our physical appearance nicer, or our bodies nicer, or our bodies more healthy. So even though Virgo is the sign that is more about health and more concerned about everyday habits and health issues and having a very balanced lifestyle when it comes to physicality as well, but Aries is that willpower that will propel us to start making steps towards a change, because it is ruling our identity. So what is also very important to know about the solar eclipse is that Pluto is squaring the lunar nodes. So it is squaring the North Node, and at the moment we still have a North Node in Taurus and then South Node in Scorpio. So Taurus is about self-worth, values, how we are valuing ourselves, stability, investments, finances, how we are handling the finances. And then Scorpio in the South Node is about letting go, So we might be experiencing during this solar eclipse themes related to our self-worth and how we can let go of those patterns or those people or those situations, circumstances, I don't know, objects as well, that were part of our lives, were giving us an identity, but they were not the best when it came to our self-worth. Those things were making us to feel unworthy, and this is a time to let go of those things. So the North Node and the South Node will soon be changing, but I will be talking about that a little bit later. But for now, this can kind of trigger certain themes in our collective as well, related to finances, maybe the banking system, maybe our investments as well, which has been a theme for a while. So it has been a theme of 2022, for example. It was teaching us certain lessons about how to handle our finances, how to share our finances with others, how can we handle our resources, and it gave a different nuance to these things. So Pluto is squaring the nodes, which means that it will start disempowering. Pluto is the lord of death and rebirth, is the ruler of power as well. So it will first disempower and it will create a crisis situation. It does want us to face our inner demons, and the only way to empower us to face our inner demons is if it brings up those inner demons, so we can pay attention to that. We also have Mars and Venus being very active and almost like ruling this eclipse as well. And it is also important to know about this solar eclipse that this is the first one since 2015 happening in Aries. It will be kickstarting a new cycle of eclipses that will unfold until March 2025 with this new Aries and Libra axis. So we might notice on ourselves during this eclipse, and eclipses are always having an elongated effect, and this Aries energy has been felt since the 21st of March when we had new moon in Aries. So we might be experiencing these energies of courage, of being very ambitious when it comes to our goals, finding the courage to become the leader of our own lives. So this Aries energy can help us to integrate our inner fire. It will push us to enter new doors that are opening for us, because it is not enough for a door to open. You do have to have the willpower and the courage to enter that door, because every single door that is opening is a start of a new beginning, of a new opportunity. And new beginnings are always coming with big changes in our lives. We are not always ready to embrace those changes because they are scary. They are threatening our identity. But Aries, with this fiery energy, will help us to find the courage to do that. So if you're a person that is liking to take risks, then this solar eclipse will be perfect for you, because it will propel you to go to the next level that you were super scared of some time ago. So this is about finding the inner confidence. So Aries is about passion and determination, but then if the energies are not being channeled properly, that unhealthy energy of Aries can lead to anger, can lead to being impulsive, impatient, and then also picking fights with everybody in order to prove a point. So it can lead to those energies as well, and then conflicts within our relationships and the collective as well. What is also important to know about the solar eclipse is that it falls at 29 degrees of Aries, and that is being considered a final degree. So that is coming with very charged, highly charged karmic energy as well. So it is that anaretic degree which is being considered to bring a lot of karma as well. And it's also a great opportunity to release karma and to transmute karma as well in our lives. Anaretic degrees are about the destiny unfolding as well. Something coming to a point of closure, so a new energy can emerge, or there's space that is being created for new energies to emerge and new energies to occupy the space that the old energies can no longer occupy. So anaretic degrees are about a higher consciousness, where we are able to integrate the lessons of that particular zodiac sign. So in this case, the lessons of Aries, the confidence that we have, how we can use that confidence in order to bring forth certain changes in our lives that we can use constructively, not only for ourselves, but then also for the collective. And how we can channel those energies in a healthy way to be constructive. How we can channel ambition, willpower, our will, our ability to assert ourselves, how we can assert ourselves in a way that it can serve the benefit of the whole, the benefit of the collective, and not only how we can be of service for ourselves. How can we use our leadership abilities in a healthy way? How can we use our courage in a way that we are not intimidating others and we are not intimidating ourselves as well? Because sometimes we can go forth with really courageous energies, bravery, but we can also be aggressive. So how can we be gentle with ourselves but at the same time courageous without putting ourselves in situations when we are being hurt by our own courage, or we are being too ruthless with ourselves because we want to achieve something so badly? Finding the middle way and like integrating those lessons that are coming with a healthy leadership as well. So Aries is also about unpredictable energies. It is a very powerful energy because through the energies of Aries and the first house, we can also channel our instincts. And because this is the second new moon in Aries this year, those themes of courage and taking initiative, boldness as well, are being emphasized big time, and our instincts as well, and how we are using our instincts, to what degree we are listening to our instincts as well, and then even gut feeling. So everything that has to do with the first chakra as well, and how we can channel that first chakra energy, how we can channel the energy of Mars, which is about our survival in this physical reality. So whatever you have been working on since March or the end of March, now you will receive like an increased boost, and you can take the intangible and you can make it real finally. Because Mars and then Aries is also about taking action. This can bring like an increased military action in terms of the collective, and whatever is happening now with the war, things might escalate because of this heightened energy of Aries. And as I said, if those energies of Aries are not being channeled in a healthy way, then it can bring like sudden developments of war and extra violence as well, or attacks or accidents. But if the energies of Aries are being channeled in a healthy way, then it can bring some sudden developments of peace as well. And hopefully that is the case, and that's what is going to happen. This energetic degree is requiring us to take action. And it is requiring us to take action immediately, because Aries is about, I know what I want and I want it now. Our job really is to recognize what is that we want right now. What is the area where we need to take action right now, because we don't have the patience to bear it any longer. We don't have the patience to be in the same situation as we have been, I don't know, in the past 5 years, or in the past year, or in the past 2 years. So what are those areas that are making you feel impatient, that are making you feel aggressive as well? And what are those areas that are triggering the worst part of yourself, or are bringing the worst out of you? What are those areas of our lives or circumstances or people that are triggering your traumas or are triggering your aggressiveness? Now those areas are the ones that you need to make a change. And making a change not in a way of burning bridges, or not in a way of cutting people off our lives, but making the transition by acknowledging the lessons that we have acquired, and then also the self-awareness that we have cultivated through those people and through those situations. And now it's time to let those things go, or it's time to move on from those people and then from those situations. And North Node in Taurus is also emphasizing this thing. So we can feel a huge desire at this time to take action. And because Jupiter is also playing a big part now in this eclipse, and is also in Aries at this time, the energies will be magnified, because Jupiter is the planet of expansion, and it's magnifying everything that is coming in contact with. So we will experience extra energies, and the energies will last until mid-May, sort of. And we also have Mercury retrograde on the 21st of April, which will last until the 15th of May as well. And that will show us that this is a great time for second chances, and especially second chances when it comes to achieving our goals or accomplishing certain things. Trying again, sort of, and giving yourself the permission to try again. So the themes that will be coming up during this eclipse will be matters of self activism, community care, building long-lasting and healthy and strong relationships as well with other people, and especially with ourselves, because we are talking about our identity here. So Aries is about your relationship with your identity, and the moment that you have built a healthy one with yourself, then you will start building healthy relationships and healthy boundaries with other people as well. This eclipse is a call to action, to take responsibility for the role we play in our own suffering and in our own lives. And to be fair, I can already feel these energies, because there are certain things that I started to change, or I realized that I need to change. I'm slowly realizing, because of these powerful energies, that I don't need to suffer in certain scenarios. And I have been choosing suffering in certain areas of my life as well, because I consider that this is the way I can grow. But in reality, we can do things differently. And maybe this is a time when we will realize that the hard way is not always the best way. It is not the best way to our spiritual or personal development, or it is not the way to our consciousness to be propelled to the next level. So this is a real opportunity, and a great opportunity to start to reclaim ourselves and to stop allowing outside forces to dictate our rhythm, to dictate our healing, our spiritual growth, our joy, and our self-acceptance. And then obviously our life decisions as well. So this Aries energy can activate this screw everybody attitude in us. And I can already feel that, honestly. Like, screw everybody that is not seeing me worthy, or is not recognizing my worthiness, or screw everyone and everything that has been standing my way when it came to my personal or spiritual development or decisions in my life. Screw everybody that made you feel guilty, or made you feel like you should not accept yourself in certain situations. And screw everybody that is not accepting you and respecting your boundaries and respecting your inner dynamics. And everybody that is not accepting your authenticity and you cannot be authentic with, can feel free to live your life. So we will be experiencing these kind of themes, and I can already feel these energies. So we can really experience this strong energy of accountability, of taking responsibility, and then setting boundaries when it comes to yourself and others as well. Again, like, because Aries ruling the first house, that is about self-care as well, and how we relate to ourselves. Not only how we relate to others and the external world, but how we relate to ourselves and what is our relationship with our inner world as well. Self-care is a unique journey. So we will realize that our self-care and our boundaries as well, and how we set boundaries when it comes to other people, is a unique journey. And this relationship is unlike any other relationship. And we cannot apply certain things that other people are applying in their lives. So this is not a time to adopt the mindset of other people and the self-care of other people. This is a time when we can develop, that self-care journey. And also recognizing that self-care and the relationship with ourselves needs time to blossom. And it needs grace to evolve and to change as well, because our own needs and our own values are changing over time as well. So we can become our own support system, and we can cultivate self-awareness. So that is an important theme here as well. So let's talk about this Pluto square. What role Pluto is playing in this whole eclipse? So Aries is being ruled by Mars, and what will happen during this square is that it will be pressured by Pluto. And Pluto is the lord of death and rebirth. It is the ruler of empowerment, of power as well. So this will not be a subtle combo. Definitely not. Because Pluto is the ruler of revolutionary change, is the ruler of secrets as well, of subterranean impulses as well. So this square will push out certain influences and certain things from our psyche, from all hidden places, and those areas that were hidden as well, and those areas that we didn't even know about. Is also launching the eclipses through March 2025 on Aries and Libra axis, which will pit personal identity against relationships. So Aries is about personal identity, Libra is relationship. So the challenge of this axis and the biggest lesson of this axis is how we can preserve our personal identity while we are preserving the harmony and the balance in our relationships as well. So it is about revisiting, resetting, and rebooting as well the challenge of expressing our identity while maintaining our relationships. So these solar eclipses are always like installing a new operating system, and first the whole system will be upside down and there will be chaos there, so it will take some time for the new program and the new operating system to start working. But the new operating system also means that certain programs, certain applications need to leave, right? Those applications that we haven't used for a long time or are not working properly, and these kind of things. So what this solar eclipse can trigger is leaving certain situations and certain relationships that are no longer working, maybe leaving a person as well that you are no longer on the same trajectory. So if you are not on the same trajectory with certain situations and certain people and certain groups of people, then those endings and those closures can be unexpected, can be sudden as well, can be unapologetic, quick, and without looking back. So things can be quite radical at this time because we are learning new ways of relating to each other and new ways of relating to ourselves as well. Everything that is launching now blazes with this instinctive life force, this organic energy, organic life force as well, because Mars is about that, Aries is about that. And this life force will be overriding some social constructs, social conditioning as well, and then some internal constraints as well, some usual internal constraints that we might have. So let's talk about this Aries and Libra axis and what we will be experiencing collectively during this axis. So as I said, we are still in the Taurus Scorpio one, and we are at the moment integrating those lessons that came with that axis, and then we are wrapping up certain lessons this year in October and November with the next eclipse season. But there has been a lot that has changed in our outer world, both individually and then collectively, since the last Aries and Libra eclipse between 2014 and 2016. So that was the last time where we had this axis. So if you go back and if you remember what happened to you between 2014 and 2016, then you might be experiencing similar themes to that, but you will be also able to wrap up certain lessons that started at that time. So I remember back in 2014, 2016, actually 2015 was the year of my spiritual awakening, where I received a big slap on my face from life, and that was propelling me to look at my inner conditioning, my internal world a little bit more, and to look at those things that made me to feel like I'm the victim of the circumstances. So that was almost the time when I left that victim mentality and I decided to take charge of my life. And 2016 was about experiencing my individuality and exploring who I am, and I started to travel by myself. I started to discover the world, and I felt like I'm no longer at the mercy of my circumstances because I can really take charge of my own life. So what will happen during this eclipse and during this axis now? Themes coming up related to that. How we can take our, as I said, like growth to the next level, and what are those areas where we are still feeling like we are victims, or we are at the mercy of the circumstances, or at the mercy of certain people, or at the mercy of our own belief system and mindset, because it all comes down to that. So since 2020 we had Gemini and Sagittarius polarity, so that axis, and the dominant narrative and the dominant theme around it was the news, it was information, which is Gemini, so it's being ruled by Gemini, and beliefs, which is being ruled by Sagittarius. Also, how we relate to other people when it comes to our beliefs. So it was bringing a lot of polarization in the collective. It has highlighted some fundamental differences of opinion, which is also Gemini, and some fundamental differences in beliefs as well, which is Sagittarius, between people, so between us and other people. It had that polarizing tendency. We were experiencing a lot of difference in opinion about the liquids, about the media information, about the news, about science. What is that we believe in? What is that other people believe in? Is that correct? What is the information that we have to question? The credibility of certain sources as well, the credibility of science as well, and these kind of things. So that was very much like Gemini and Sagittarius. And these themes and the lessons that came with these themes are actually foundational to what we will be experiencing at the Aries and Libra eclipse cycle. Because if we don't share fundamental beliefs in our relationships, which is Libra, then that can bring sudden shifts and sudden turning points, and this tower energy, which is very much like very fiery, like Aries. So we have to ground also Aries in a deeper philosophical and then cosmological understanding of the energetic whole that we are living in, of the energetic environment and other worlds as well. And instead of cutting out the unwanted energies, which Aries loves to do, and burning bridges with this fiery impulse and this instinctive impulse, we have to understand that we are connected to the whole. We are connected to each other, and whatever we do or whatever we don't do is influencing other people as well. It is impacting the collective. So it is really about accountability and taking responsibility not only for ourselves but for others as well. This axis will be also about understanding what is right for us, which is Aries, in our relationships, which is Libra. And it is about no longer ignoring the elephant in the room, no longer ignoring our fundamental problems in our relationships. The Gemini Sagittarius cycle was more about understanding these differences or seeing those differences, because those themes were coming up and those differences were being shown to us. But Aries and Libra will be about what we're going to do about that. Will you recognize that this is bad for us, that this is making you completely incompatible with the other person? Do you have the courage to recognize that? Do you have the willingness to recognize that as well? Do you have the bravery to see that you can no longer continue in the same manner because it is damaging your mental health? You can no longer continue in the same manner in your relationships. So the question is, what you gonna do about that? And Aries will give you courage to make changes in that sense. So by no longer ignoring the elephant in the room, we will be able to see who is worthy of our energy and of our efforts of cooperation. And we will be able to choose not to go to war with those people. So instead of going to war with them, we have to channel the energies of Aries in a constructive way. Kind of like leaving certain situations with neutrality and without the judgment, which is obviously a big challenge, because when you are angry and when these instinctive energies are being activated in you and triggered in you, you cannot be neutral. So it does take time for you, and it does take patience for you and healing to come to that neutral place, to integrate, the lessons. So we also have an opportunity with this eclipse to get clearer and clearer about what our values are, what our goals are, who we are, and what we really need. And that will make, so that is Aries, and that will make our relationship decisions much easier and much clearer as well. Like to experience what we are by experiencing also what we are not, because that is ultimately the human experience. Understanding what we are by understanding what we are not. And I believe that also in the collective these themes will be very dominant. And because Aries at a fundamental level about human autonomy, independence as well, and when the collective is feeling like those things are being threatened, the Aries instinct to fight kicks in. So we can expect some aggressiveness, I believe, in the collective as well, and especially when it comes to our survival. And finances can play a big part in that as well, because Taurus is about finances and Venus is about finances as well, and then resources. So it can be a very tricky eclipse in terms of the collective as well, and then obviously individually as well. If Aries is not being rooted in this healthy knowing that while it is having a unique individual and personal experience in this life, we are all part of a single energetic whole as well, which is very much Pisces. So that is the 12th house. Like that is the difference between the first house and the 12th house. So the human experience, like going from the individuality and being self-serving to going to that collective experience, the experiencing of the cosmic energetic whole. So if Aries doesn't understand that you can be this and that as well, and it doesn't adopt this end consciousness that I am this and I am that, I'm both of them, I am the individual but I'm the collective at the same time, then that can lead to trouble, because Aries can become very, very self-focused, very, very egocentric as well. So one of the biggest tasks of Aries is also to recognize those experiences and to understand the experiences of Libra, which is the opposite sign, to understand the fairness in relationships, the balance in the relationship, the diplomacy in relationships, cooperation, harmony, and being able to have very healthy conversation with the other person without wanting to project our own ego and our own insecurities on the other person. So if Aries doesn't understand these things, if it's disconnected from the energies of Libra, then it can become very self-serving, very aggressive, very single-minded as well. All right, so this is our biggest task during this solar eclipse. And as I said, it will translate on a collective level as well. And I believe that it can translate to the situation with the war, and it can translate to the situation with the economy at the moment as well. Alright guys, so this is what I wanted to say in today's video. I really hope that it resonated. We are having very powerful years. These are very challenging as well, and honestly, I can say that 2023 is one of my hardest years, or more challenging years. Like the whole year was kicked off with lots of challenges for me, with my relationships as well, but then also with my health and other things. And work and everything, and then family issues, and yeah, so it is a crisis situation in a sense, and every eclipse is a little bit like a crisis situation, and especially all these conjunctions and planets changing signs is coming with its own challenges. But ultimately we have an opportunity to be propelled and to have doors opening for us that we never thought that even existed. So it's almost like looking at a wall and looking at that wall for many years and not even seeing that actually there's a door there, and now all of a sudden there's a door appearing. And it's not only that it's appearing on that particular wall, but it's even opening for us. So now the only thing that you have to do is to walk through that, and this is what this eclipse is about. All right guys, so thank you so much for everyone's support. I wanted to say that I also have another channel which is called Esoterica with Evelyn. So those of you that have not subscribed there, please do, because I'm sharing readings there. So that's why I didn't do a reading in this video, because I have plenty of them on my other channel. Then those of you that would like to book a personal reading with me, you will find the information about that down below in the description box. And if you want to support my work, you can do it on Patreon, where I'm sharing also readings about different topics, and then podcasts, and I'm trying to post as often as I can. Yeah, so thank you so much everybody for your support, for your beautiful emails, for your donations. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. So take care, and I cannot wait to see you next time.